Juan Ramos was an early defensive standout for the Knights of NSU. In 1993, he was one of 4 athletes to earn all Florida Sun Conference honors as a defender. From 1993 to 95, Ramos earned NAIA All-District 7 honors. At that time, he was only the 4th soccer player in program history to be named All-District 3 years in a row. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology. Ramos had a decade-long pro career that started in Europe and ended with many years of professional soccer in Florida. In 1996, Ramos signed with Spandauer BC, but also played for Spandauer SV later in that same year. In 1997, he returned stateside, where he played for the Florida Strikers of the USISL D3 Pro League. In 1998, he played for the Jacksonville Cyclones, making 23 appearances. In '99, the Miami Fusion selected Ramos in the 2nd round of the 1999 MLS Supplemental Draft. Following his time with the Fusion, he had stints with the Raleigh Capital Express and then later with the Boston Bulldogs of the USL A-League. In 2006, he was signed by Miami FC of the USL First Division. He is currently the Director of Coaching and Player Development at Plantation Football Club and is the boys varsity head coach at Cypress Bay High School, where he helped lead the Lightning to back-to-back Florida State Championships 2011 and 2012, as well as national champions in 2012. Prior to that, he coached at American Heritage Plantation, where he captured 3 state championships in 5 years. He is also part of the Olympic development staff and is a coaching course instructor at the Florida Youth Soccer Association. Additionally, he serves on the Player Development Committee and is a scout at the U.S. Soccer Federation. He resides in Plantation with his wife Jamila and their sons Jaden and Justin.
Good evening, everybody. It is an honor to be here tonight presenting a man I greatly admire, my brother John Ramos. Growing up, I had a preview of John's untiring dedication during the long hours he spent practicing all the moves from Fists of Fury in our living room. Yet, despite his love of all things Bruce Lee, once John discovered football, there was no swaying him from his life's calling. Since those days in the living room, I've watched my brother dedicate his life to not only developing himself, but to be a top athlete, but in helping others to do the same. It always made me proud when people recognized me as John's little brother, because although I didn't understand it then, they recognized greatness in him. John left a footprint of excellence on every pitch he played on, and it has always been a privilege to be associated with it. My brother's hero Bruce Lee once said, "Knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must do." And this is what has made my brother great in this sport. He continues to learn and apply what he has learned. He has never been afraid to do, even if it took him halfway around the world to play this beautiful game. John is the embodiment of all things a top athlete should be. My brother's natural talent is envied by many, his commitment to the sport is unwavering, and his passion for the game is unquenchable. Even if the man before you tonight was not my brother, he would still be my hero. Welcome, John Ramos.
All right, and back in my day, obviously, there were a few years we actually had to play our games away at a local park until they, built us our soccer field here by the new dorms, or back then was the new dorms, and we were impressed back then. But to see the campus now is amazing. All right. First of all, I want to thank NSU for presenting me with this honor. It's greatly appreciated. I would have never thought that I would be up here or be presented with something like this. I want to thank the coaching staff that worked with me during the time I was here, back in the early 90s. They're not here. Thomas Rongen is an inductee in the Hall of Fame. I want to start off by thanking him. He brought me into the program. To start, he was actually the director of coaching and player development back at Plantation when I played there, way back. And he brought me into the program. He believed in me. He thought I would be an important piece to the puzzle, and I appreciate him giving me that opportunity here at NSU. I also want to thank the other coaches that were involved during the time I was here. Richard Williams, which was one of his assistant coaches, who was a tremendous inspiration with the somewhat of a career path I've chosen to take here with coaching over the last 10 years. Akram Malaka, who was also a soccer genius, and Richard Barnard, who was our crazy goalkeeper coach. Those four guys played a tremendous role in my development, not only as a soccer player, but also as a human being. So I want to thank those gentlemen for laying down the foundation for me during those years. I want to thank my teammates, all right, for the great memories. Thomas Rongen always had a philosophy where he thought that the game was for the players, and he created that environment for us. He gave us an opportunity to express ourselves, to enjoy ourselves, and at the same time learn how to win and become better people. So I appreciate the teammates that were around us during that time, and obviously, like many of the other inductees, I can't talk too much about the different things we got ourselves into and all those stories, but greatly appreciated. And lastly, I want to thank my family, who's been the spine in all this. My parents, who are here, who got an opportunity to be here, to join me in this special event. And lay down the foundation for me to grow as a person, okay, and be tremendous role models, set a great example over the years, and always support my decisions and the goals that I've had since I was very young. My brother, who is just up here, thank you, and to his wife Christy for being supportive, all right, for being a friend, my best friend, and thank you for all the kind words. And then finally, my wife Jamila, who is a high school sweetheart, also graduate of NSU here, okay, for supporting me, for understanding, for allowing me to be out late, dealing with these coaching scenarios over the last several years, and allowing me to pursue my dream of giving back to the game. All right, which has been a very important part of my life. And finally, for my two boys, Jaden and Justin, who are always by my side on the soccer field, although they may not want to be all the time, but they've always been supportive, and over the last 10 years, have been a huge part of my enjoyment of life in general. Okay, so again, thank you for the great honor, and that's all.
Now, we just have a couple of